Welcome to Street Food Circus Big Banquet, an annual food festival located in Caldecott Castle and is the second of Street Food Circus's food festival season. If you missed out on the Big Banquet this year, don't worry. The link for Street Food Circus is in the description below, and you should be able to check out some of their future events with a lot of their usual traders. Not only that, but this is an annual occurrence, so make sure you come by next year. Also, the socials of each individual trader will be in the description box, so you can keep up to date on where they are next in case there's any particular trader you like the look of. There were some huge wins at this food festival, including with traders that I've never tried before. In this video, I'm going to show you everything I ate at this food festival in a castle. Stay tuned until the end to hear my top recommendations for traders you need to try. If you enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to my channel. I post videos on a regular basis of delicious food and teach you about some of my favorite dishes that I really think you ought to try. Firstly, I do recommend that you watch my other Street Food Circus video on the Forest Festival. The link is in the top right corner of this video right now and will also be in the description below. I was really strategic this time around in that I wanted to try all of the traders that weren't at the Forest Festival first before doubling back to some of my must-have favorites. That strategic decision paid off because unfortunately I did hit the food wall. So I didn't manage to get to every stall today, but all the ones that I didn't get to I have already tried in my Forest Festival video, so be sure to check that out. The first place I went to was Pack Sandwiches, a new trader to the Welsh street food scene, but after one bite, I knew they're going to be a big hit. As an American who has had Chicago-style Italian beef sandwiches before, I wholeheartedly approve of this one. After speaking with the traders, you could tell that they were really passionate about good food, and it does come through in their cooking. We had their combo sandwich, which had a pork sausage, the signature Italian beef, giardiniera, cheese, and all dipped in gravy. The sausage here wasn't a traditional British sausage. It was smoky and delicious and was like a high-quality hot dog. The Welsh topside beef was tender and sliced thin. The giardiniera on top is an Italian relish of sour pickled vegetables, a mix of cauliflower, celery, carrots, and peppers. My favorite part about this dish though is that when they add that cheese and dunk it in the hot gravy, it melts into ooey gooey deliciousness. We also had a side of their cheesy fries which uses pimento cheese, which is a mix of cheddar, cream cheese, and picante peppers. It's like a slightly spicy nacho cheese sauce that was absolutely delicious. I always expect fries to be a bit boring where I have a few and I'm satisfied, but I was completely blown away by the simplicity of this and couldn't help but demolish the whole thing. The seasoning on the fries and the cheese really carried it through, and trust me when I say that this is a must get. It's not your average cheesy chips, you can't do this dish much better than they have here. Overall, my verdict on Pack Sandwiches is that they do simple dishes perfectly. The recipe is very traditional to the original Chicago-style Italian beef, and you can tell that they're really passionate about spreading the gospel of this dish. So, I'm here spreading it as well. Make sure you give Pack Sandwiches a follow on their socials so you can see what they're up to next. The links are in the description below. The next stop is another trader new to the scene, Taco Taco Taco. They're so new that they're actually making their debut here at the Big Banquet Food Festival. We got two of their tacos, their lamb and their chicken. Their lamb was smoked and put in a taco with some cucumber salsa verde, mint, and pico de gallo. Salsa verde is the green sauce that is slightly spicy due to it having green chili peppers as its base. Pico de gallo is a fresh Mexican salsa made from chopped tomatoes, onions, peppers, dressed with lime juice. Their chicken taco was buttermilk fried chicken with a garlic and chimichurri crema, pico de gallo, and mango salsa. Crema is like a thinner sour cream, and chimichurri is an Argentinian sauce with parsley and olive oil as its main base ingredients. Unfortunately, I couldn't show you a nice cross-section as both my tortillas were ripped from being pressed a tad too thin. Double tortilla action may have helped here. My next trader that I've never tried before is Piddaji, which specializes in Turkish flatbread, kind of like a Turkish pizza. It's a rounded, flattened wheat-based dough topped with a variety of different ingredients and baked in a wood-fired oven. We ordered their mixed pide, which came with a sucuk, which is a dry, slightly spicy and fermented sausage usually made from beef or lamb. It's kind of like a chorizo as the spices used for the seasoning is similar, but sucuk tends to be a bit heartier than chorizo and firmer too. There was also chicken, spinach, mozzarella, and chilies. I couldn't resist paying for an extra egg on top. I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed this dish despite its simplicity. The dough for me was the real star here. You can taste that it was really freshly made, very bouncy and chewy and paired great with the toppings. I only wish the egg was a bit runnier as I do love a runny yolk, but still a big win. Speaking of pizza, let's move on to Italian Neapolitan style pizza from Wild Pizza Co., also freshly made in a wood-fired oven. Their dough is cold fermented for over 72 hours, which gives it a light and airy texture, which makes a huge difference. I'm one of those people who usually doesn't eat crust, but I couldn't resist in this case. We had their triple, which had salami, pepperoni, Spanish chorizo, tomato sauce, and fior di latte mozzarella. If you don't know what fior di latte is, it's a type of mozzarella made from cow's milk, which contrasts to mozzarella made from buffalo milk. This type of mozzarella is the one that is usually creamier and softer and great for cheese pools. I especially loved the crispy edges of their meats here, which gave a really nice texture contrast. On to some East Asian street food now with Wok N Roll, which do Vietnamese sandwiches known as banh mi. I'm from a location in California with a huge Vietnamese population, so I grew up eating these sandwiches, and although the variety of fillings is huge, what makes something a banh mi is the bread. There is a lot of history to banh mi as French colonization brought the baguette to Vietnam. The bread here was great and sourced from a Bristol bakery called St. George. You're looking for a crispy exterior for a hearty grip that gives way to a soft and pillowy interior. A second signature of banh mi found here is the use of light ingredients for a fresh taste, such as coriander, cucumber, pickled carrots, and pickled daikon radish. We went with their hoisin pork belly. Hoisin sauce is a dark, sweet, and salty sauce usually found in Cantonese cooking, but also popular in Vietnam. Our final stop for all the new spots we haven't had at Street Food Circus's last food festival was Roti Shack, which specializes in Malaysian cuisine. Their namesake refers to roti canai, also known as roti prata, a flatbread dish originating from India but insanely popular in many Southeast Asian countries such as Malaysia and Singapore. This type of flatbread is made from a dough of fat, flour, and water. After being repeatedly kneaded, flattened, oiled, and folded, you get a layered bread that crisps up nicely when cooked, creating a lovely texture and great for dipping. Here we have it paired with beef rendang, a traditionally Indonesian dish that is a slow-cooked rich curry using coconut milk as its base. After seasoning with herbs and spices, the caramelization of the meat turns it dark brown and tender. The pickled onions on the side were a great palate cleanser. This dish came with rice and a sambal, which is a spicy chili sauce. Okay, now onto some spots that you'll recognize if you watched my Street Food Circus Forest Festival video. The first spot that I went to was my overall winner of the Forest Festival, and that was Fire and Flank, specializing in steak and mash. Their flank steaks are cooked sous vide or in a water bath for temperature control before being finished off on the grill for that char. We had to have ours with their cheesy garlic mash again and their 10 out of 10 chimichurri sauce, According to the chef, their main ingredient is parsley, dressed with olive oil, a bit of chili, and balsamic vinegar for acidity. A really good balance of flavors. This time around, we did opt for crispy fried onions and smoked garlic mayo on top just to have a bit of difference compared to what we had last time. It was still fantastic. However, in hindsight, I did prefer it a bit purer, with just the steak, mash, and delightful sauce. Okay, next stop was Hills. We went for their classic bacon cheeseburger this time. Their burgers were so incredibly juicy, it was unreal. Once again, Hills is proving that not everything has to follow the smash burger trend. You just can't go wrong with a masterfully cooked juicy burger with a bit of bacon, cheese, and a soft bun. Our final savory of the day was Sin Nombre tacos. Last time at the Forest Festival, we tried their sea bass tacos, so this time I'm getting their beef rump tacos, which came with a lot of salsa. Okay, my final verdict on the savories. This was a really tough one as there were some big wins of really good food, and you're wondering what the actual unskippables are. I've narrowed it down to 2 and I can't go any less than that. My first big recommendation is my winner for Forest Festival, which was Fire and Flank. With them, it's all about a fantastic balance of flavors. Delicious steak over some of the best mashed potatoes you'll ever have, and an addictive and sharp chimichurri. There's a reason why I went back to them as my first stop when I ate at all of the new traders, and they didn't let me down. My second big recommendation is packed sandwiches. It was really hard for me to decide between them and Fire and Flank, so I'm just recommending them both. Get the combo with the sausage and the Italian beef. You're not going to regret it. Okay, on to the sweets. If you watch my Forest Festival video, you'll already know that I have an obsession with Minto's Patisserie. Here is their melting chocolate dome, a brownie topped with chocolate mousse, honeycomb, vanilla ice cream, and a chocolate dome on top. Drizzling over molten salted caramel causes the chocolate to melt onto the dish. Mintos are just masters of making indulgent desserts with a balanced flavor profile. They're not overly sweet like a lot of other desserts places that I've tried. We also had Church of Churros, which make lovely Spanish churros with chocolate sauce as a dip. Fried choux pastry dough piped into hot oil. Our final sweet stop was Rebel Crumble, which do a variety of delicious crumbles. This was their black and blue, a combination of blackberries, blueberries, and infused with gin. Topped with a crumble topping which is usually made from butter, flour, and sugar toasted. And you can't forget about the custard. Honestly, dessert-wise, every one of these spots were good and dependent on your taste. But as you know, you can't go wrong with Mintos. Creative and interesting takes on dessert. Street Food Circus has several events throughout the spring and summertime, so I highly recommend you go to their website and follow them on their socials to see what's upcoming. There are amazing vibes here with a huge emphasis on food. Trust me when I say that when you've gone to one Street Food Circus event, you're going to want to hit up all of them. Definitely keep your eyes peeled. So, have you tried any of these street food traders before? What did you think? Let me know in the comments section below. If you've never had any of these guys, which one tempts you the most? Remember, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and please consider subscribing to the channel. Your support is very much appreciated, especially considering I'm just a small and new channel starting out. Until next time!